Okay, let's talk about the absolute digital foundation of your business. If you get this decision right, you're building an engine for growth. But if you get it wrong, well, you've pretty much signed up for years and years of headaches. So, how do you actually choose the right platform? Let's dive in.
The landscape out there is more crowded than ever, right? You're just getting bombarded with all these terms: DXP, headless, open source, proprietary, SaaS. Honestly, it's enough to make anyone's head spin. The number of options can feel totally paralyzing. So, are you just picking a website builder, or are you making a huge, multi year strategic commitment? If you're feeling a little bit like this right now, trust me, you are not alone. This is a genuinely complex decision, and it has some serious long-term consequences for your budget, your marketing agility, and your ability to scale down the road. But don't worry, we're going to untangle all of it. First things first, let's get our terms straight. We've really moved beyond the simple content management system, the old CMS. Today, the standard is something called a digital experience platform, or DXP. And as you can see, it's not just about your website content anymore. It's a whole suite of tools designed to manage the entire customer journey. We're talking personalization, analytics, testing, you name it, all in one place. So, where do you even begin? Well, the first major fork in the road is, believe it or not, a philosophical one. It's the choice between two fundamentally different ways of thinking about software: open source and proprietary. And this one decision is going to shape everything that follows. It all comes down to one thing: the blueprint. With open source, that blueprint, the source code, is out there for everyone. You can look at it, you can change it, you can build on top of it. But with proprietary software, that blueprint is a locked-down trade secret, and it's controlled by just one company. And as we're about to see, that single difference changes absolutely everything. The appeal of open source is really powerful. First off, no licensing fees. That can be a huge, huge cost saving right off the bat. But the real magic is the freedom. You have total flexibility to customize the code to do exactly what you need it to do. You're not tied to a single vendor's roadmap, and you get to benefit from a global community of developers who are constantly innovating and fixing bugs. But all that freedom comes with a trade-off: responsibility. With open source, you are the one in charge of maintenance, of updates, and especially of security. There's no dedicated support line you can call at 2 a.m. when something breaks. And for your non-technical team members, these systems can have a much, much steeper learning curve. Now, this is where proprietary systems really shine. You're basically paying for peace of mind. You get a dedicated support team, you get guaranteed stability because they've done all the testing, and often you get professional services to help you get it all set up. There's one throat to choke when things go wrong, and for a lot of businesses, that is worth the price. So what's the downside? Well, it boils down to cost and control. Licensing fees can be pretty substantial, and they're usually recurring. You're limited to whatever customization options the vendor decides to give you, and you are completely dependent on their schedule for updates and new features. And the biggest risk of all is vendor lock-in. Once you're in their ecosystem, it can be incredibly difficult and expensive to ever leave. Okay, so let's move from all this abstract talk and see how this actually plays out in the real world. We're going to look at the open source camp and pit two of the biggest names against each other: the undisputed champion of the web, WordPress, and the enterprise powerhouse, Drupal. Now, what's really wild about this slide is the sheer scale. When we say WordPress is dominating, it's not an exaggeration. It powers nearly 63% of all websites that use a known CMS. Drupal, while it's a huge player in its own niche, has a market share of less than 2%. That massive user base for WordPress has a gigantic impact on its whole ecosystem of developers, plugins, and support. And when you break it down, the core differences become crystal clear. WordPress is built for accessibility. It's meant to be intuitive for users of pretty much all skill levels. Drupal, on the other hand, it feels like it's built by developers for developers. It's incredibly powerful for these big, complex, data-heavy sites, but that power comes with a steep learning curve and, as a result, higher costs for the specialized talent you need to run it. And this quote just brilliantly illustrates that central point. It gets right to the heart of the user experience. For your marketing teams and your content creators, a platform that requires a developer for simple, everyday tasks just creates a bottleneck. It slows everything down. And honestly, this is often the deciding factor for businesses that really need to be agile. Okay, let's pivot to another critical topic, and one that's surrounded by a lot of myths: security. People always ask, so which CMS is more secure? But as we're about to see, that might be the wrong question entirely. The real risks often lie in a place most people completely overlook.
This table tells such a fascinating story. See, security isn't just about the core code, it's about the attack surface. WordPress, with its massive market share and over 100,000 plugins and themes, has a gigantic attack surface. Drupal's is much smaller. But notice that key security note for WordPress? Its security depends on plugin governance. The risk isn't WordPress itself, it's what you add to it.
Think of it like this. Your core platform is a solid stone castle. But every single plugin or theme you install is like adding a cheap wooden shed onto the side of it. The data consistently shows that attackers aren't breaking down the castle walls. They're jimmying the window on some poorly built shed. The vulnerability is almost always in the add-ons, not in the core platform.
So you can choose the perfect platform, you can lock down your security, you can build a beautiful site, and then have it all fall apart because of a poor hosting choice. This is the hidden gotcha that can secretly sabotage your performance, your security, and your budget without you even realizing it. Now, we're going to use a specific, really detailed review of one popular hosting provider. We're not doing this to single them out, but to use them as a perfect case study in what to look for. This quote here highlights that what a host promises and what they actually deliver can be two very, very different things, with real-world consequences for your site. So by dissecting that review, we can pull out these universal red flags. Are users constantly complaining about high CPU usage? Are they running on older tech like Apache instead of faster options like Lightspeed? Do their premium add-ons just feel kind of incomplete or half-baked? Are their prices marked up like 200% over the base cost? And are they using scare tactics like flagging spam comments as malware just to upsell you on something? These are the questions you absolutely have to ask. Whew, we have covered a lot of ground. Open source versus proprietary, platform comparisons, security, and hosting. Now, let's bring it all together into a clear, strategic framework that you can use to make the right choice for your specific needs. So here it is, your framework. First, list out your absolute must-haves. What does this platform actually need to do? Second, be brutally honest about your team's skills. Not what you wish they were, but what they are right now. Third, define your support needs. Is a community forum good enough, or do you need a dedicated help desk on call? Fourth, calculate the total cost that's beyond licensing to include things like maintenance and hosting. And finally, choose a platform that won't just work today, but can actually grow and scale with you tomorrow. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this one question. Is your digital platform an asset that truly empowers your team and drives growth? Or is it a liability, a constant drain on your time, your money, and your morale? Look, there is no single right answer for everyone, but by understanding these trade-offs, you now have the framework to find the right answer for you.